I hadn't meant to pick the Care Bears mug, but I need to be caffeinated. I found this at a thrift store. You understand. A thrift drip. My name is Brooklyn, otherwise known as the Dramatic Otaku, and I'm going all out for my first Pride Month out of the closet. You see, I am a bisexual woman. I'm going through a gender crisis right now. My pronouns are she, her, and they, them. And welcome to some Pride manga suggestions, queer manga suggestions, queer graphic novel suggestions for those readers who want to get into more queer stories. I know that I certainly have been wanting to get into more queer stories over the last couple of months, and I want to share my collection with you all. Now, not all of these are explicitly queer stories, but they have been claimed by the queer community. I also want to make it clear that I use the word queer to refer to the LGBTQIA+ community, just because it's easier to say personally, and I refer to myself as a queer person, so just to let you guys know that. I'm very excited to be sharing my collection of queer manga to be suggesting to you guys. And first, I'm going to be shooting off some of the more popular titles. I'm going to be recommending these in quick succession, as I do have a couple of videos where some of these books will feature, and I'll go way more in depth into the backgrounds of these books. But that being said, let's just get into it, starting with a rapid fire round of some of the most popular queer manga that I hear a lot about. Let's go! Given. How do we relationship? Thigh high. Go for it, Nakamura. Heartstopper. You knew this one was coming. I want to keep these ones in quick succession, mainly because you know about Given, you know about Heartstopper if you're coming to find about manga. Given is a BL that is essentially a band AU, I guess. This is very drama heavy, especially with Mafia's backstory, and there's a lot of sexual tension within the Given series. So everyone knows that, everyone knows Heartstopper. I will give a few trigger warnings for Heartstopper. It is a very healthy look at particularly Western gay romance. However, I will give the trigger warnings if you're looking to read the entire series. For self-harm, EDs, bullying. We also have How Do You Relationship. Personally, I actually haven't read How Do You Relationship, but I will give this a recommendation simply on the fact that I have been dying to fucking read the series. I only have volume 3, and I haven't been able to find a volume 1 yet, so clearly it's either very popular that people keep starting this series, or it's not popular enough. But from the recommendation that I got for this series, it is a lesbian romance with 2 adult women, which made me want to read it because it's not set in a high school. But yeah, so How Do You Relationship? Don't have a lot to say on it, but I would recommend it. These are TikTok famous and art famous books. Obviously, if you recognize this art, go for it, Nakamura. It's a little queer comedy story. It's essentially about the main character, Nakamura, and him trying to become friends. It's not about being his boyfriend just yet, but it is about becoming friends with his classmate, and he is just a hopeless introvert who can't do anything right. It's a very cute and funny comedy story, and I would actually highly recommend this. It is not a BL, so there's no like unwholesome scenes at the end, but yeah, I highly recommend this, especially if you have seen the art meme. This is a very cute story with a slight, not exactly, but a slight like 70s, 80s art style, similar to the likes of Urusei Yatsura or Inuyasha, more like Urusei Yatsura, and I would highly recommend this. Now, Thigh High it is not advertedly gay. This one is more so sort of a piss take on a lot of conventional shoujo tropes in anime and manga, except with men. Except with teenage boys instead of teenage girls, and they're all wearing female uniforms instead. And I love this. It's really, really funny. The reason I put it here is because when I saw this on TikTok, the comment section was just a field day of the girls and the gays. So yeah, this is essentially a piss take on shoujo tropes, but I would recommend this. It's a really funny read, and this is the first volume of a few. And yeah, I would highly recommend this, especially if you love men in skirts. Now, speaking of not explicitly gay manga, we're going to be talking about 3 series that, while they have been adopted by the LGBTQ community, they are not immediately gay. Starting off with the classic Ouran High School Host Club. Ouran High School Host Club has been adopted by the LGBTQ community mainly because of Haruhi's stances, I guess, on gender and how gender does not define her, and how she wishes to be perceived by her intelligence and personality instead of her gender. And while Ouran High School Host Club has a bit of chapters that do not age well, it is a good read for a classic, especially one that people really do enjoy. However, this is a very, very straight romance novel that has just been beloved by members of the LGBTQ community because of Haruhi being a trans icon. So yeah, moving on, we've got Sailor Moon. You should probably know why Sailor Moon is iconic in the LGBTQ plus community. Obviously, with Sailor Neptune and Sailor Uranus being cousins, it is very beloved by the LGBTQ plus community. It also shows that all of these Sailor soldiers are in some way attracted to more than one gender, more than just men, and want to find love point blank. So while not explicitly gay, there are gay undertones. So especially I would also give this a read, seeing as there is a new Sailor Moon movie coming out, that being Sailor Moon Cosmos, or sorry, Sailor Moon Crystal Cosmos, which should be the conclusion to the series, as Sailor Moon Crystal follows the manga from what I've been told. I've only watched the 90s anime and haven't finished the 90s anime, so you want the queer undertones, I would give this a shot, especially since the new Sailor Moon movie will be coming out soon. And finally, for the bisexuals, Revolutionary Girl Utena. Now this is the epilogue little book. If you can see what Yuri Posetsky is standing on over there, that is the actual series. It's 2 big solid novels that are roughly the size of Tomie, but this is an after novel. First of all, women with swords, women with weapons, women with swords. Revolutionary Girl Utena is quite possibly one of the more outwardly queer of the non-queer novels, or non-explicitly queer novels, mainly because Utena, I'm almost certain, is bisexual, because she obviously shows attraction to men. However, she has been seen to show attraction to women as well, especially with Anthe, and her overwhelming want to protect Anthe as well. So Revolutionary Girl Utena, it does have some pretty weird undertones. I have given my piece on Revolutionary Girl Utena, but truly, for the bisexuals, I would suggest this book. Okay, next one. This is BL. This is Dakoboko Sugar Days. This is a one-shot BL book. Obviously with BL, there's a little bit of a saucy scene at the end, but it is going through the very quick love story of these 2 characters here. This one is very short and has a height complex. This one is very tall and very cute, which he doesn't find fair. They're childhood friends who fall in love with each other. Mostly this book is very, very cute. I read it back in like my Fujo days, and this is the one that stayed with me the most because I used to read them online. So I actually physically bought the book mainly because it is a very, very cute BL. Unfortunately though, it does have that saucy scene at the end, so if you're not a fan of BL, I wouldn't pick it up, but here's a recommendation either way. But now, moving on to stories that I fully, with my chest, recommend to you guys. Now, as I mentioned, I won't be going too into depth into these stories, mainly because in my next manga anime review video, which was supposed to be today, but will instead be 2 weeks from now because there's a video I have to put in front of that one as well, I do talk about, I believe, 3 of these books and go into heavy depth. So if you could like and subscribe, you'll get a full in-depth review of these books. But just from a basic standpoint review, first of all, I would recommend My Love Mix-Up. It is a very, very cute romance comedy series. I would like to note that it's under Shoujo Beat, and I'm saying this because of the thing that I was just about to say, that it reads like a shoujo romance novel. Something like Our Haru Ride or Love Me, Love Me Not. It reads like one of those books and it's under the Shoujo Beat tag. However, it is a love story between these 2 characters and this character. You see, in the original first volume, which this is, this character has a crush on this character. During the middle of a test, she hands him a eraser, which has, to him, the name of this character. We soon find out that by the end of this novel, spoilers, she doesn't actually have a crush on him. But through the course of this novel, he does develop a crush on him and he does think that he has a crush on him. You can see the mix-up part, right? So this is a very, very cute series. It is also very drama-based, much like a shoujo romance, which may be the reason why it's under the Shoujo Beat tag, but it is very, very cute and you get to see the, gay panic. You get to see the gay panic of this character as he slowly realizes, wait, I'm actually falling for this guy. Oh my god. So yes, I would highly recommend this, especially for those who are huge shoujo romance nerds. This 100% reads like a shoujo novel and not like a BL. Thus, I would give it a recommend. It is a very healthy way of reading queer romance, but not as healthy as the next couple of books. So, moving on to, moving on to essentially the female version of My Love Mix-Up, Whisper Me a Love Song. Now, I fucking adore this book and this series. I have the other 2, or the next 2 of the series in my library, and I want to get the next 2 books after. Whisper Me a Love Song is the slow burn romance of these 2 characters here, Yori and Himari. Now, Himari essentially does not know the concepts of love. She's never felt romantic love before. Yet, she confesses her love to Yori because she thinks that Yori playing the guitar and singing is so fucking awesome and she just loves it. So she confesses to Yori, I love you. I love your singing. Not realizing the weight behind her words. Yori takes this as a love confession, which by the end of this volume turns out pretty awkward as Himari suddenly realizes the weight of her words. Now, this story goes through the struggles of Himari and Yori as they try to reach a conclusion on, well, are they gonna date or are they just gonna be friends? Himari is having a full-on gay crisis and Yori is desperately in love. This one also does read fully like a shoujo romance, as you have another party who is in love with Yori and confronts Himari, who happens to be Himari's best friend's older sister. So lots of drama going on, but it's not quite as dramatic as Given, so I would highly suggest Whisper Me a Love Song. It is a very, very cute lesbian romance, but yes, this one is like one of my favorite queer series, especially lesbian series, especially girls love series. It's not girls love, but it's girls love, if that makes sense. But yes, this is a very cute little lesbian series, and my gay heart absolutely dies. I would die for Yori, I would die for Himari, and I would die for Yori's dad. Moving on to two books that are honestly my absolute favorite and the ones that I recommend the most. First of all, we're going to start with I Think Our Son Is Gay. Now, I Think Our Son Is Gay was a story that I was recommended via a different YouTube video. This is the story of Hiroki from the perspective of his mother, Tomoko. You see, Hiroki is gay and is in the closet. And he doesn't know how to feel towards other people and is struggling in coming out, but also having a gay old time. And the thing with Hiroki is that Hiroki can't hide his emotions very well. Essentially, if he's feeling something, it shows very clearly on his face. He's not good at hiding his emotions. Tomoko can see that, and she very quickly clocks that Hiroki might be gay. And the format of the story is Tomoko essentially writing a letter, that's how it's sort of formatted in the way it's written, to Hiroki's father, who doesn't really appear in Hiroki's life all that much because he's always away on business, though clearly she hasn't sent the letter to him yet. And this is sort of just her diary of realizing and accepting that her son is, or might be, because I think he might be, though it's very clear that he is, gay. You also have little plot points on Yuri, which is Hiroki's little brother, and he can also very clearly tell that Hiroki is gay as well. This is a very cute slice of life book. I would highly recommend it because it is, again, it's from the mother's perspective, but it's showing an overwhelming and caring force for a queer child, and that's what I think this is very refreshing about this book, as it's not outwardly the queer kid's perspective, it is from the mother of a queer child. So that's what I really like about this book. It is, again, very refreshing and I absolutely adore it. I would highly recommend this book. Now, the last one that I recommend, which is honestly probably one of my favorite queer stories, point blank, is That Blue Sky Feeling. So this is a 3-part series. It's got 3 novels, and I fucking love this book, fucking love this series. Unfortunately for me, I read it at a time where I was watching a lot of slice of life anime, so I couldn't enjoy it fully, but by the end of the story, I was so invested in their story, it wasn't even funny. Now, this is a very drama heavy series. It only has 3 novels, so I can understand why, but almost every chapter and every little arc that happens is like bang, 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 bang. It's all very drama heavy. So if you don't like drama in your slice of life, maybe don't pick this up. But this is essentially the story about Sanada and Noshiro. Okay, I'm struggling to fully describe how much I love this and why I love this, so I'm actually going to be cutting to a clip from an upcoming video. So here is spoilers for my April-May manga and anime review video, specifically on That Blue Sky Feeling. The story is a journey of self-discovery for both of its main characters. This one, obviously for Noshiro, it's a self-discovery of what is it like to love someone? What is it like to feel romantic or platonic or familial or whatever kind of love with another person, especially one of the same gender that you just met. And for Sanada, it is opening up. It is opening up to his friends, to people he trusts, and only people he trusts. He doesn't need to come out for anybody. That's what this whole story is about, and I love it, and it's adorable, and such a good read, because it's not solely romantic. There is elements of romance, but this is very much a slice of life, coming of age, sort of finding oneself story, and I really adore it because of that. But yes, those have been my queer suggestions for Pride manga that you guys may be interested in. I know some of these aren't actually explicitly gay, or they have just been adopted by the queer community, but I would still recommend them because it is sort of good to see what the hype is behind these stories, especially in the case of Ouran High School Host Club. It is really of its time personally, and it isn't explicitly gay but has queer themes to it, so that's why people love this series so much. So that's why I'd sort of give them a read. Some of them are like just guilty pleasures, like Thigh High, and yeah, so it isn't all explicitly this is a coming out story, this is a gay romance story. It is this somewhat gay? Yes, no, maybe. That is what this suggestions of videos are, personally from the perspective of a bisexual. That's my video for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers and I can't do that without your guys' help. I'm uploading more anime and manga reviews in the next 2 weeks, so if you want to find out all of that, I upload every Wednesday and Friday at 10 Australian Eastern Standard Time, and I will see you all next time. Bye! Mwah.